back to the Vantage Point. We are so glad that you are with us today. We hope you've been with us all year long. We're coming up near that year mark, so we're really excited about that. And we're also hoping that you're with us on our podcast. Shout out to whatever station we're on. What station are we on?
We are on any station where you can hear a podcast. So Google Play, Podbean, Apple Podcasts. Yep.
So you know how to find us. The Vantage Point Table Talk is on the podcast. But I am here with all of these lovely ladies whose names we say every time, and I will not break tradition. So, Dr. Jessica Mosley, whoop, whoop. And then I had to laugh at my hood side. Okay, and then
she has it in her hood side.
And then the counselor herself, Sister Jennifer Rogers.
She's from the hood of Castleton.
I know, right? I'm just not. But that's Sister Jennifer Rogers. And then Crystal Dunn, who we're just glad to have amongst us. You know, you're just graced with her presence.
Yes.
So we're really glad to talk to you today. We want to talk to you about something we find kind of interesting. What would you say to your younger self? Mercy Me has a song out. I love Christian music. I don't really listen to gospel music anymore. They've gone off course. But I love Christian music. And so...
Sequoia said it.
Right. I sure did. I didn't say everybody. I just said I don't really listen. But I like Christian music. So I like Mercy Me. And they have this song. It says, Dear Younger Me, I cannot decide. Do I give you some speech about how to get the most out of your life? And then they go on and say... or do I go deep and try to change the choices that you'll make because they're the choices that made me? Mm. And they said, even though I love this crazy life, sometimes I wish it was a smoother ride. Mm-hmm. And then it goes back to Dear Younger Me. Do you guys have any regrets, wishes, choices you would change or advise yourself on? Let's say you were talking to 18 to 25-year-old you.
No, we got to go a few years younger.
Okay, go a few years younger. Just since you got it.
I would tell Jessica, or especially 15-year-old Jessica, because I think that's when I kind of broke away from. I was raised up in church, so I knew better, you know. But I wanted to be accepted so bad, you know. And I would tell her that, Jessica, you are enough. If they don't want to be your friends because you're not out here doing what they're doing, then you're still enough. You are beautiful, even though you didn't have your dad there to tell you that you were. You are. You are smart, you know. That Jessica was so broken and so looking for love in all the wrong places. And I don't even think that Jessica could have survived in this world that we're in now. With the pressure that they have, you know, because we didn't have technology. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we do, not to say that we didn't struggle at all, but still, we don't have it constantly in our faces 24/7. There's so many things that could get you distracted. But I would tell that, Jessica, you're enough.
That's pretty good. You know, I was thinking about this last night when we said this is what we're going to do. And I can't say that I have anything that I would regret other than the people who I've hurt because of the choices that I made. You know, I think, I wish I didn't make my mom cry about that.
Oh, Jenny,
you know?
Don't make me cry.
Yeah. So I think that's the only thing I think, oh my gosh, I wish I had not. And maybe having grown kids makes me emotional. I don't know, probably. But I can't say that I regret anything in my life because it truly did make me know who God was, and I know him in a way I never would have known him. But I think, well, maybe, God, you would have made sure I knew you that way if you wanted me to know you that way. So it's a whole circle thing. But I regret the people that I affected with my choices. And the life choices that they make based on choices I made. That's what I regret. So. Sorry.
Well,
That was heavy though because
Was it? I didn't. Well, it didn't seem heavy last night.
so that
but it feels
wasn't on
heavy
my
right now.
list. But going back, I'm like, man, yeah, that's true.
I know. I'm like, how many people did I mess up?
Oh man, we need to do a show about that.
Oh,
you
gosh.
Yeah.
I think we said that earlier.
Sorry.
I would go back and I would tell myself, your confidence is not based on who is or who isn't in your life. You know, I think that there's always been a reserved side to me. But I think some of those, especially younger years, and when I say younger, I'm not even just talking about 18 to 25, well past that, there's always been this, I'm looking for permission or approval, you know, and it's different. I would consider myself a very loyal person. And if I think I'm going to do something or say something that would ruin that loyalty, I won't do it. Well, in times past, I wouldn't do it. But I would speak to the confidence and say, it's, girl, he's with you. It don't matter, as you said, who is or who, you know. I would never label myself as a daddy's girl, you know. And technically I had to.
Yeah.
But that did something to me, you know. And I've always been very private about those experiences because they affect other people.
Yeah.
But instead of being quiet, I'm just asking God to give me wisdom. How do I talk about this? Because that confidence of what God did, somebody else needs to hear that.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, somebody else needs to understand that you mean when you get saved, you don't just walk on roses.
No.
You mean when you get saved, because, you know, and I don't want to send the message that it's all doom and gloom. It's not. Life happens to everybody. I just thank God that the life that's happened to me has been with him, not without him.
Yes.
You know?
That's it.
So I think we have to share that side. So, yeah. Then I'm going to go back to Jenny's.
Don't.
No, that was heavy, Jen.
I'm sorry.
We just need to have a
No, it's
show where we
okay.
go
I
back
try
and
to
say, you know
think
what?
about this.
No, I wish I had thought
There's
that hard.
there's some casualties in my past
Yeah.
that I'm not proud of.
Yeah.
You know, and I didn't just naturally think that, but I was thinking about me. I didn't think about the people that had to grow with me.
Yeah.
You know? Go ahead.
I told Michael, one day he was telling me how, about, how the shelter affected him. I was like, you were 7 years old. You didn't understand what was going on, And I went in my room and it was like I heard it as clear as day. It affected him. And so I went in there and I said, Michael, I want to apologize to you for the decisions that I made that caused you this type of hurt. Or it causes you to sometimes have to fight thinking less of yourself or that you're not good enough. I hurt my mother. I was a 17-year-old pregnant girl. My daughter is the total opposite of me. I gave my mother a hard time because I didn't want to listen. That's why they hit me so hard, because I hurt her. I hurt my grandmother. I hurt my son. But now that's why I work as hard as I do now to show her that her sacrifice for me is not in vain. And that's why I'm working as hard for my children, because I was a kid when I had my son. I couldn't imagine my daughter having that responsibility at that age. So I would tell the younger me, you're enough.
Wow.
Jenny twisted this whole thing.
I'm
up.
so
This
sorry.
is going to be such a lighthearted show. Maybe
I apologize. I
because
apologize.
Jenny's making me think too. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I grew up in church, and at the church I grew up at, there was a lot of young people. We had a lot of peers, a lot of people around us. And of that large group of peers, I can think of 20, 25 of us just in my immediate age group, like within 1 to 2 years of me. Probably 2 or 3 are really still saved. Well, maybe a little bit more. 3 to 4 are still saved. And I think of my part in that. I think of all the times like I was laughing with them or dancing with them in the bathroom. I learned to dance in the church bathroom. Sorry, I've been delivered. But or like all the things
Help me, Jesus.
all the things we did together that was not okay.
Borderline.
Yeah, mostly not okay. I didn't get in trouble with worldly friends at all because I wanted to be a good representative. I got in trouble with my church friends. I figured they should know, right? But I was wrong. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I actually called one of my friends, and she's not saved now. And I apologized to her for something that I feel like set us both on a path. I changed, she didn't, but we did the same thing. And I did it with her. You know, and I always felt that responsibility for contributing to her backsliding and never coming back. And Jenny just made me think about all of that.
So, you know what made me think about it is when I was 18 years old, because you said 18. When I was 18 years old, I started dating this guy who wasn't in church. And I felt like I robbed him of salvation. Now, God knows how to save his people, right? Yeah. But I thought to myself, and I don't know, I haven't thought about him in years, but I thought about when you said 18, I'm thinking 18 is when I started just really doing dumb stuff. I started dating this guy and, you know, I took away, and again, this is just me being dramatic like I am, the way he would see God or see salvation or see the Holy Ghost or see anything because of the way he was dealing with me. Or the way I was dealing with him. And, you know, I don't know what happened to him. I'm not going to go look him up. But I thought, God, I'm sorry for that. Because I was rebellious. Because I was doing what I wanted to do. I didn't realize how many people that would affect and whose life that would affect. And then I started thinking about my ex-husband and decisions that I made in our relationship that, you know, resulted in to wherever he is in his life today. And just, you know, just the culmination of it. And now my kids are in a broken home, so now they have to deal with those demons. And so it just, you know, that's what made me think about that, you know, because it is a lot. But I can't say that I have regrets other than that I wish I had shown more care about how my decisions affected other people.
Oh, man. I remember the movie Why Did I Get Married came out. And I always have to preference now, this is during marriage 1. And in the movie, I'll give you the details of that when we come back. We're watching the band.
Did you know that when you are quiet, your voice is missing to God's ears? I know some of us have prayed and we're wondering, how long should I pray about this? Why should I pray if God already knows? How will I know God is answering? And what do I do when I feel like God's not listening? But God is listening for your voice. It's too quiet in this world for the troubles we have. You have to raise your voice, and God wants to hear from you. It's Too Quiet, a book about prayer, is designed to answer your prayer questions and build your faith. Visit presstopray.com.
Because of you, I felt hopeless.
I know it was a joke, but it still hurt me.
Because of you, I felt wanted and not alone in this world.
Because you said hi to me on the first day of school, I felt included, and I knew that I was going to be okay.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move, so I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day, I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
thank you for joining the Vantage Point thus far. We've been talking about what we would say to our younger selves, and Jenny made us all cry. And so now we are going to keep crying, and we're going to let Crystal, go ahead and finish her story. Crystal, you were sharing with us from the movie Why Did I Get Married, in which they cry as well. So go ahead.
We need to hashtag that.
Yeah. So during the movie, you know, there's this scene where they're all at the table and all of the drama is starting to unfold, right? And so I'm very passionate into this movie. I'm into it. I'm like, you know, she hits the guy over the head with the bottle. You know, all of this has happened, and I didn't realize it, but I was yelling really loud at the TV, right? I mean, at the screen. And so Pierre, he said he was calling my name. He's going, Crystal, Crystal, Crystal. And then finally he said, Sister Crystal. And it pulled me back in. And so what I didn't realize was the couple sitting next to me, evidently something in the movie struck a chord with them. Well, you know, I hadn't been through some things yet. I'll just say it like that. And so the lady next to me, she looked at me and with, you know, this disgust, like, I can't believe, because I'm yelling. I'm like, get him, hit her, get them up. Now, this is years ago, guys. I wouldn't do this now. The Lord knows how to humble you. He knows how to make you sensitive. I probably would have started praying for them if I was there now. In the movie theater. Wait, sis, don't go. But anyway, she gets up and she leaves. And I look at her and I'm like, you must be one of them.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad.
Did she come back?
I mean, she didn't come back in the theater. They left the movie theater.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they necessarily left, and this is me not wanting to feel as bad as I did. I don't think they left because of me, but something in the movie resonated with them, whatever it was, and I helped. Because I'm like, how could you do that? How could you be that? How could you? And thinking of where Jenny took us, you know, I don't even know who that woman was. I'll never, that I know of.
Oh, so they wasn't with you?
No, they were strangers.
Oh, they were strangers. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll never get to go back and apologize to that lady.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, come full circle, I'd definitely be more sympathetic to that situation. And so when Jenny brought up the people that we have had in the past, that we've hurt in the past, man, I'm thinking, God, another way of humbling you. Because we're so quick, I'll just say, I'm so quick to point out what you did to me. Yeah. And when I look and see that I have some casualties in my past, I'm like, oh God, I'm sorry. Help me. And if I couldn't go back to the younger me, I'm reminding the me now.
Right, get your act together.
Let's make sure we've grown from that. Let's not repeat the same mistakes, because that's just a different way of looking at that is, man.
You know, I think it's me getting, I'm 47, so I'll be 50 in 3 years. And you do look at your life differently, you know, when you're approaching having, you know, you got grown kids, you're approaching having grandkids, and then your kids get married and, you know, that kind of stuff. You do look at, you know, the layer of dead bodies you left behind you and realizing like, man, I wish I had done that differently.
Wow.
So
the people that had to grow with you.
yeah, it's just like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
You know, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No, I was going to say, I think one way to kind of summarize that would be, even if you don't care today, you'll care tomorrow.
Yeah.
So don't live like you don't care, because you might just end up caring more than you know.
Yeah, and that you only live once mentality.
It's reckless.
It's reckless because you may be here long enough to see what your decisions created. You know.
And that's what I said.
Those words back.
You can't.
That's why they say, be careful how you treat people. You don't never know who's going to have to bring you your last cup of water. I was talking to my brother, and the Holy Ghost said, apologize to him. I said, he's an idiot. I said, I'm not going to apologize to him. No, I said, maybe this is just me thinking it, you know?
Yeah.
It's not really, but it kept coming back. I said, okay. So I wrote him a message. I said, I love you, and I want to apologize to you for any pain that I may have caused you. And I said, and I mean that. From the times I would spank you up until us falling out for 2 years, not speaking to each other, which was really hurtful to me, whatever. He wrote back to me, I've been forgave you. I love you. And I just broke down and started crying. Because we were always cordial if we saw each other over my mom and them house, you know, hey, what's up? But now, I'll just go over his house, or he'll come by, or whatever the case may be. But we didn't always have that, you know, well, at least I didn't think so, but the Lord knew he needed that. And he references that. He even sent me an article about your big sister. I didn't read all of that blah, 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 but it was still the point. It was still the point that he, you know, that he's putting more effort into it and whatever. And I'm working on something with somebody else. But I do like the fact that God is maturing us enough to apologize for the casualties that we've caused, because I didn't realize. I thought I was just the nicest person in the world and most did it. Girl, no, you got a problem, you know. So I'm doing better.
I would say to younger me, one, take better care of yourself.
Man, what's up with you and Jenny today?
No, I mean, okay, I'm not trying to cry.
I'm going to get this girl, and when I get delivered from this one thing I got going on, I'm telling you, I said, Lord, if you just help me. Yes.
Because it does catch up with you.
You can watch our self-care journey on Vantage Point.
My God.
We should
It's
take
coming.
one. Are we
We
taking
should.
one?
We should.
It's coming.
Yeah,
It's coming.
I'm talking about physically right now. I'm not
we know
being
what you're
deep.
talking about.
I'm aching all over all the time. And now I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have eaten all those sweets when I was younger. Or, you know, you can't eat at midnight anymore. You feel like you got to do, should have exercised when I could a little bit more. It's just, you start to realize you only have one body. And so, I mean, that got an amen.
Yeah, I think that's a really, really good, because, you know, even like we've been talking about your mental health and just taking breaks and realizing you're not a superwoman. You're not, you know.
You're not?
No, God,
You're
no.
not a superwoman?
No, I don't even try to be.
She has on her cake
I just
today.
try to take care of, you know, business like I take care of business, but,
You're
you
very
know, I
professional.
always put myself last.
Yeah.
You know, always put myself last. And, you know, I'm learning that now I don't have to go last.
Girl,
You know, it's okay to say, you know what, I'm doing me today.
I'm doing me today.
And it's okay, you know, I'll tell my husband, you know, I'm letting you know right now, I'm not doing anything but me today. Okay? He's like, girl, do you. Whatever.
do
He
you.
said, I don't know what that means, but okay. But I'm like, I ain't going to do no laundry. I'm not going to do none of that. I'm
just
going to
gonna
lay
sit
here
here.
and watch Columbo and Murder, She Wrote and just
she loves
TikTok.
Columbo.
And TikTok. And then he said, I'm going to get a lot of videos. Yes, you're going to get a lot of videos today. Because you sometimes have to just take a break from being everybody's everything to say, just calm yourself down. Just chill out.
And that was part of that 18 to 25. I think that was the young mom part. Now the 18 to 21-ish, 22-ish, I wasn't anybody's anything. I was just selfish and pretty happy with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You just make decisions from, what do I want to do? What do I,
Yeah.
and I wish, looking back, I wish I had thought a little bit more of what can I do for somebody, or what could I give? Because I really did. You have the most you're going to have in terms of time.
Yep.
You have a car, usually, maybe sort of transportation. You know, you have the ability to make some decisions.
And you're always trying to just move to the next stage, right? And I don't think I ever enjoyed the stage that I was in, because I was so busy trying to move. You know, I was telling my kids that I don't remember so much of their childhood. Like, I don't have pictures. I don't have stuff. And I know that bothers them. Like, when my grandmother passed away, we went through albums, and I got all her baby pictures out of her albums. But I did not, now that they're grown, I'm like, man, I didn't enjoy you when you were a toddler, because I was so ready for you to be in school. You know, and then once you were in high school, I was just so ready for you to get out of my house. You know, it was just one of those. And I would tell anybody that's, you know, if you don't have kids, you know, again, enjoy the life that you have, and don't always start looking for what's next. You will lose the time that you have looking for the next thing.
You know what, even though this is the way I forgive myself. I said, okay, I don't have all of those. I have a friend who has like all the school pictures and all of that stuff. Okay, look, we're going to start today. You know let's sit down and talk about this. I have a lot of different recordings now, you know, because those are the things that's going to really matter.
We're going to start right now.
We're going to start right now. I'm not going to keep beating myself up. Yes, I made you cry.
Yes.
But I don't do that today. You're not going to keep beating me over my head with that. For real, because that's not who I am.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that selfish,
it.
bratty, rebellious little girl no more. You know, I try to do everything for you now, Mama. So you know what to keep. Hey, amen. I forgive Jessica, too.
That's true. And I would tell myself, I'm throwing these out there, but I would tell myself, none of your plans are going to work out, but everything is going to work out.
It's all going to work out.
You got hashtag.
Trust me, none of what you're planning is going to go the way you just tried to plan it, like stressed and cried and how am I going to become? And you're not going to do any of it.
No.
But everything's going to work out.
Yeah.
And that's just the God factor. I mean, it's the way he does it. I was planning to be a lawyer who
She
did
still is a
different things.
good representation.
I still have it in me, but I just didn't get to go to law school. Everything changed. I got knocked up.
She's a battle. This girl will battle you over
Back to back.
Right? No, that's not what she said. She will battle.
But no, I don't know. Did everything work out for y'all?
No.
I thought I was going to be married and very rich. No, I'm going to tell you what my plans was. The Lord's delivered me.
I'm grateful for the way the plan worked.
Yes. Yeah, because I didn't plan on being at the camp's church, but the Lord saw fit for me to be at the camp's church, so I wasn't going to camp. I was not going.
Our church has a camp.
Yeah, I was not going, but thank God.
The camp church.
Thank God. Thank God.
Write my story if I tried to.
I couldn't
No chapters, no. Even what I thought I knew, I didn't really know, you know. And I think to look back now, there's no way that life didn't go didn't go the way I thought it was going to go at all. But I'm grateful that I'm not in control.
I love you,
You know, because I'd have messed everything up.
Everything.
Everything up.
And I'm so glad I didn't know. Like, you know how you think God will give you a glimpse of what, you know.
I'm telling
I would
you.
have found a way to screw it up. I totally would have found a way to mess it up.
I'd have been, are you sure?
I'd be like, but I think we should do this. I got ideas.
I got good ideas, not got ideas.
I like that too. Good idea.
I'm just glad he didn't listen to anything I said.
Thank you, Lord.
You
Nothing.
know, as we're closing this show
nothing.
out, hopefully you're encouraged. Just know, stick with God. You know, your plans are your plans. They may not be his, but he has a plan. Yeah. And take your time. You can breathe when you have him. It will be well with you. God bless you, and we'll see you next week.